At the speed of sound. Tell me about the build, man.
So bought the car NA 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago. And first year in it, we put the supercharger on it. We did a short throw shifter, a couple other small things. She made about 600 to the rear wheel, which is pretty good. Instantly destroyed the clutch that was in it. Put in that twin disc clutch I've got over there. Then instantly snapped an axle, so I put in GT350 axles. Spent the next year chasing problems. She actually did pretty well, started to get the times down. You ever watch It's Just a Six?
I'm still learning about different shit.
So he's one of the YouTubers, and he's got a buddy who makes a manual trans brake. I'd never heard of one before. It's called Next Shift, right? So I bought one of those, and I put it on here, and literally I could push a button and take my foot off the clutch, and it would perfectly launch the car every single time. So I did that. I dropped my times by a lot. I already sold it, by the way. So I put that on there. The car was doing great, and then this fall I broke this transmission right here.
Yeah.
And so we were kind of like, well, we want to throw more power at it, and the manual transmission, just for me, I wasn't going fast enough. So we decided to swap to Turbo 400. So we've actually already got the shifter in here, and the transmission should be in there.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah. So it's a 3-speed, reverse pattern shifter. So you pull it back to go into the next speed. It's got trans brake, all that fun jazz on there. Right now we have to launch the car at around 4,200. 4,200 RPM is right where we're launching the car, and she'll dead hook every single time you do that.
So me and my tuner were talking about it, me and Sam, and because in this car there's fucking 26 maps for everything.
Yep.
So when we did my dyno tuning, my car, because of my setup, I have cat deletes, because no one does cat deletes.
Yeah.
And it didn't make bad power, and it sounds good. So I was like, with the cat deletes, and I put a 2020 JLT intake manifold, JLT intake.
Which long tube headers did you go with?
I didn't do long tubes.
So Texas Speed makes long tube headers. If you go on their website, you'll never see them for sale. They'll always say out of stock, but if you call them, they'll put you on their list. They're like $700. That's what I've got on here, and they're catless ones, and dude, they are worth it.
Really?
I picked up about 25 horsepower just by going long tube headers. Sounds way better. The airflow's much better out of it, and it keeps everything a little bit cooler.
Okay.
They're a bitch to put on.
Oh yeah, I saw you have to drop the drive line.
Yeah.
Or not the drive. You have to snake it around the steering rack or something like that.
So what we did there, obviously we did disconnect the steering wheel.
Yeah.
So that we had a little bit more room. And then while we had it on the lift, we just used the transmission jack, and we just lifted one side of the engine. Like, we disconnected one of the engine mounts, lifted one side of the engine to give us a little bit of room, took all the bolts out, put one side on, tightened it all on, put it back down.
That's fucking genius.
And then went to the other side.
Did the same exact thing?
Did the exact same thing. The only thing I would say is, so you have studs all along here, right? That they use the original ones for. And what we ended up doing, we went back with bolts. The only studs we left on were the front ones on both sides. So when you put the headers up, you can guide it onto the one bolt, and it'll hold it in place. Yeah. And then put all the other ones in.
I never thought about that. I saw everybody talking about how much of it. That sounds like maybe a 2-hour job? When you do it that way?
Yeah, it's about a 3-hour job, 3-4 hour job.
That's not bad.
It helps having a lift. If you're doing it on your back, on jack stands, that was, that's where it's really, really difficult.
Right.
So this winter's build, what we did, I got the 2,000 horsepower Driveshaft shop axles back there now, so that's never going to be a problem again. Turbo 400, like I said, single piece aluminum Driveshaft, also from Driveshaft shop. We upgraded the fuel system as well, so we have a 4 Innovation dual pump fuel system. We made it a return style system instead of a deadhead. Yeah. 1050X injectors. We're on E now. I wish I could start the car for you because she sounds so sick.
I believe it.
I also upgraded to the VMP triple pass heat exchanger, which you can barely see it in there because they did a good job of hiding it. but it's got dual.
They really did.
It's got dual 11-inch fans on it, and it sends the coolant 3 times through it, so it keeps your temps way lower.
Okay. So what type of temps do you get? Because on mine, I get like 206, 207, but if I'm moving, I might get like 199, like 200.
So I've seen down to like 170, on my IATs and stuff like that on this car with that setup.
Oh, you're going strictly off of IATs?
Just off of IATs. I need to put a sensor in to say what temperature is coming through here. I don't have that sensor yet.
I go off a cylinder head. That's how I always look at it.
That's your oil temperature. Your cylinder head oil temperature is what you're seeing there. That one's a little bit more difficult to get that down. That usually sits around 190 for me.
That's really not bad.
Yeah. We have the MSD 2-step on it as well. So when this thing launches, she sounds pretty rowdy. I did get the Z01 add-ons tow hitch for this.
Yeah.
And that makes life a lot easier. Also, it has a GoPro mount right here. So you can, and you can adjust where it looks as well. So if you're going to gap the guy, you just turn it to the side, look at him, and go past him.
I raced in my area. Everybody, loves scat packs and shit like that. It's just the DMV. Everybody wants. To me, scat packs are the new Crown Vic, right?
Yeah.
So this dude was talking crazy. I mean, like, I'm the fastest. I'll beat anybody to that. My buddy has a Q50, a 3.0 turbo, and I raced him, and Sean's Q50 fucking moves. For it to be like on an E blend, now it's on full E, and we haven't re-ran yet. But I mean, when I tell you we did a dig, and I was on my drag pack, it was my first night coming out on that drag pack. I had literally just did a test pass by my uncle's house. And at 3,800, with the time, without touching the launch control timing, it was set a little bit too high, so I was losing power. But with that loss of power, it just goes.
Yeah.
So me and the dude pull up, and I'm talking my shit, because I'm on an M5 blend. I had 85 and M5 mixed in the tank. Mm-hmm. And when I tell you, by the time I hit third gear, I put 6 cars on this kid. I mean, if you've never put M5 in with your E, you should try it. It's like instant torque.
Yeah. We're still trying to figure it out, obviously, because we only got one pass in on the transmission before we pull it out.
Yeah.
So it's one of those, like, I don't want to... so I did send it to my tuner, and he tuned it, and then we took it to the track. So it's only because we switched to automatic, there's a power loss there. So we're only making like 620 at the rear now. And he didn't have third gear, so he couldn't run it in 1-to-1. So really, we're probably making around like 660-ish, probably would be my guess. At the crank, we're making like 720 or more. Like he's saying 720, 730, right in that area. And for me, that's kind of my cutoff point as far as like stock engine. I haven't done anything to it.
They say the blocks can hold like 9, but I'm not going to be the guy to test it.
Yeah, that's the thing. So there's a shop near here, TKM Performance, and they have a Coyote swap program there, where you take out your Coyote and you give it to them. I think it's like $7,000, and they will give you a built Coyote engine, good for $2,000 at the rear. At the rear of the car, not the crank. It's got top fuel hoops. It's got crank, pistons, rods. Everything you need, and camshafts, so new cams all the way around.
That's a part of my build.
And they've got a sick chop to it as well. So that's probably what I'm going to do at the end of this season.
Yeah.
I don't want to throw too much more power at this thing.
You just don't want to push.
I'm doing about 10 pounds of boost plus E now. So I'm like, I'm kind of on that range of like, how much more do I want to do?
Yeah, it's starting to get angry.
So we'll see how she does this season, see if we can get it dialed in. I am on the VMS racing rims.
And they look beautiful, my guy.
So it was really fun. So I was down at Mustang Week 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was just like...
And it's clean. It's so clean. Would you clean in the garage, or you just cleaned it and then parked it?
So this is ceramic coated. I got the car ceramic coated a year and a half ago. Mm-hmm. And honestly, all I have to do is come here with some detail and wipe the car down, and that's it. I don't have to wash it.
Yeah. My car has a ceramic coat sticker in it, but that's how I bought it, so I don't know,
Yeah, it just depends on who did it and stuff like that. So I got mine from Avalon King, was the name of the company that did it. That was the ceramic coat that I bought. But then my neighbor details cars and stuff, so I had him, paint correct it and everything. And then I brought it in here and ceramic coated it myself.
So it's sitting on like 3 coats at this point.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
It's a great. It looks beautiful.
Yeah. So the funny story about these rims, though, you know, normally if you buy the 4-set brand new, they're like $2,000.
Yeah.
Roughly, give or take. And I was down at Mustang Week, and I was just going through Facebook Marketplace, hoping that maybe one of the guys was selling some stuff.
Yeah.
Because it was the year that it was technically canceled. We all just showed up anyway.
Yeah, fuck it.
Because they waited until like a week before the event to say, oh, because of COVID, you know, Myrtle Beach is canceling the event. So we all just went, screw you.
Yeah, fuck it. We're already on the way.
We're already here. We've already taken the time off of work. We've already booked accommodations. Like, it's too late at that point. And so these rims popped up, and the guy had them listed for $700.
You're fucking kidding me. With the tires?
But I mean, the tires were shot. The tires were pretty much shot, but still, the rims themselves are
at the price of $700. That's literally just paying for not even a whole front runner.
Yeah. So, but then I messaged the guy and I said, I got $600 cash. I'll give it to you. He goes, okay. And I was like, I'm not 100% sure these weren't a hot item, and he was just trying to shift.
Fuck
them.
it, you paid for them.
Yeah, I paid him cash. You know. You know, it was just one of those like he met me at one of the events, gave me the tires, like gave me the wheels, and I had to explain to my wife why she had to drive home with a front runner in her lap.
When I did it, I picked up my drag pack for $1,400, brand new with tires. I mean, I drove that drag pack for a week straight just to feel it, get a feel for it, and there's still nipples on the tires.
Yeah. Well, these ET Street R's, man, like they
That's
are dead nuts.
Yes.
They're dead nuts. Also, I did do the battery relocation.
I saw that. I was like, it gave me VQ vibes. I mean, turbo a G.
Yeah. So she's back there just helping to get some of the weight to the rear.
Yeah, because you're going to need it.
If you sneak and you look up there, there's my fuel control module just hiding up there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if you ever have to do fuel pumps in these things, by the way, they're so easy.
Is it like VQs where you just plug the back seat?
Yeah, literally. And I did the backseat delete on this as well.
You know what's funny? I was just about to do that, and then I got a reason not to.
So literally, with the backseat delete, it's right there.
Oh, that's beautiful. Wow. Yeah, it's literally right there.
Yeah.
It's just like a VQ. Dude, this is awesome.
Yeah.
The fast plumber, man, just...
I'm trying. You know, it's the transmission stuff is driving me kind of crazy because I ordered that kit from JPC Racing. Actually, they're up there in Maryland. And
you know what's funny? I think somebody told me it's some big Mustang shop in Maryland. I forgot the name of it. They're like, why don't you go there to get a tune? I'm like, nah. Only person I trust to tune my shit is Sam because I trust his method. I watched him tune my car and that shit was amazing.
So my tuning is done by Powerhouse Performance. They're in Grafton, North Carolina. Lance, my tuner, does excellent work, you know, and you know, we talk back and forth because like my thing with any tune, I know a lot of guys are just going for that number. They want to, you know, especially if they're on a dyno, they want to give you like the biggest number that they can, crap like that.
And that you mind if I
go ahead and look at it? That's the old one before I did the automatic swap on it.
With verified timesheets, man, this is beautiful.
So here's my thing about like tuning and stuff like that.
Numbers don't matter. Power
numbers don't matter. But if you tell me, hey, my car makes 1,000 horsepower, you better have a sheet to back that up.
But and even more than that, if you make 1,000 horsepower for a quick second and it drops, what's the fucking point? You'll peak and then you'll just get drugged by something that's, you know. Yeah. And that's something that I've learned playing with this car, you know, just power band. Like numbers are great.
Well, this is why I like the supercharger because it's a steady, consistent amount of
it's like this.
Power.
It's literally like it's like a straight line.
Yeah,
dude.
you know, like immediately she spikes to about 375 just right off the trot, and then just steadily builds boost all the way from 3,500 all the way to about 7,000, just a little bit like 6,800. You know, and you
don't even need to rev high. You have so much fucking power so quick.
Yeah. I when I'm going down the racetrack, I shifted at about 7,200 RPM. Okay. So we did raise the limiter on that. So the limiter set at 75. My tuner's like, we can go all the way to 8,000. I was like,
You can.
Yeah. So what my tuner always does for me is I tell him, figure out what the max is, figure out when she stops making power, and then back it down 5%.
Right.
I don't want the engine going max power all the time.
Right.
You know, that's how you blow an engine.
Yeah.
So.
Especially with boost.
Especially with boost, you know, which is the nice part about, again, going supercharger instead of turbocharger. There's less things to go wrong.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen a lot of guys recently with their turbochargers where one little sensor gets stuck, like Cletus McFarland. I don't know if you ever watch his channel. He just blew up the engine in Leroy not too long ago because a $100 sensor got jammed shut, and he made 60 pounds of boost. Just poof, the entire engine gone. You know. Now, luckily, he's got Texas Speed as a sponsor, so that isn't really gonna hurt him that much. You know, but for me, I'm like,
right. You're talking about fucking what, $8,000 on a crate motor?
Yeah, $8,000 on a crate motor, and that's just for a stock engine. You know, for what I want out of the car, it's going to be more like 15, 20 grand out of the engine. So, you know, I did put on this PMAS cold air intake, and that does help. And I do have the big mouth ram air right here.
That's what I want to do with mine, because I looked at the, I just couldn't find the right grill, or should I just saw it out and...
So this is the performance pack front end on here. So it's got the round headlight, or the round fog lights up here that the normal one doesn't have.
Yeah.
And that's what has this extra piece here. So I just dremeled this out.
Okay. That's what I'm end up doing.
If you look down here, you'll notice I dremeled this out too. That's because hidden up under here, I have an oil cooler for the transmission.
Smart man.
Yeah.
Nothing's worse than a hot trans.
Yep. So I put it up here. Also, I do have the Steeda tubular K member on this. I need to get, I want to get a custom bumper sticker made for my car. It says Facebook Marketplace Racing. Because, like, I bought so much of this stuff off of Facebook Marketplace.
And that's what me and Sam were talking about, because he can get parts at wholesale prices. So he was like, Nick, if you can really get that for $800, I can't beat that price. And I was like, let's fucking do it. He was like, bro, if you're going to get it, go get it.
You're a bit crazy for driving all the way down here, but I mean, hey. If you want it, you want it, you know?
When you okay, let's factor in gas. You know, I spent $100. And I didn't spend until I got like 30 minutes away. So let's say 800, 200 come back, that's $1,000. That's still $300 short of buying it brand new, and I still got to wait.
Yeah.
You know, what is it to wake up on a fucking Saturday, take a drive, you know?
Yeah.
So a lot of dudes are bullshit. I'm like, nah, when I want something, I want it.
Yeah. No, and I appreciate that.
Oh, man, no
you came out here for it. You didn't try and get me to ship it for you.
Nah, that was too much work. I was like, I'm impatient. If I'm going to get it, I want it now.
Yeah. So what's really funny, though, is the guy I bought that from, you're up in the Maryland area, right?
Yeah.
That's where I bought it from.
Did you drive it or did he ship it?
He shipped it. I paid him a little extra, and he shipped it down for me. But I was like, that's so funny. That Driveshaft was up in Maryland, came down here, now it's going back.
The funny thing is, I'm probably going to run across the original owner some way, somehow.
Probably.
And it'll be real funny, because I'm like...
real funny, yeah. But,
man, I appreciate it
so
so much.
all these signatures on the front of the car here, these are all YouTubers that I've raced with.
Nice.
Yeah. So I don't know if you know any of these guys. So it's just a 6. He's a big Coyote guy. You know, he's got a 2016, I think, that he just got a 2,000 horsepower engine built for that. Guitar Mageddon Z01. I used to like him. Guy's a bit of a tool now.
That's usually how it gets. They get fast and want to talk.
Yeah, he dunked on the original shop that did a lot of the work on his car. And, you know, that guy like sacrificed a lot of stuff to help him. Right. And then he put out a video talking about the history of his car, and he's like, yeah, I had the shop working on it. They didn't know what they were doing. You know, like, I'm like, dude, that guy did so much for you. Yeah. And he put out a video saying, look, I haven't said anything against you, even though you did this, and this to me. I kept my mouth shut. Right. But now you put out a video dunking on me, so
I gotta respond.
You know, let me do it. And he never responded to it either. He's just like acted like it never happened.
That's what you do when you know you're wrong.
Yeah, you know, and so I lost a lot of respect for him. You know, John Dock, he's a local racer here. He's got about 100,000 subscribers. It's just a 6, it's at 1 million now.
I'm trying to get like you guys, dude.
Yeah, Zorby, DPP, Mustang Lifestyle, that guy's pretty cool. I'm trying to meet Cletus and get him to sign it. And what I want to do, I want to save this spot right here, and I want to get Jay Leno to sign it. That would be like, because he's the ultimate car guy.
Yeah, his fucking garage is insane.
His garage is insane. You know, so.
Damn.
Yeah, this is her. So, like, I do have adjustable suspension that's going in it pretty soon, but they forgot to send me the sway bar mounts. So I'm gonna have to take it all apart. So I've already got the rears, triple adjustables on the rear. I'm just waiting for the last of the front parts to come in so I can control the suspension all the way around.
Yeah.
So
You can really
yeah, exactly. Squat it and keep it squatted as it's going.
control the rebound on it. You don't want to just.
Yeah, that's been one of the things. I've had to do a lot of suspension work on it.
Yeah.
You know, so like a lot of stuff that gets skipped over when I talk about the build is like
That's
cradle
another
lockout
part.
bearing.
Yeah.
All of that crap that goes into it.
And the funny thing is, the stuff is super cheap. It's super cheap. Like
BMR, man. BMR turns out really good products, and they're not that expensive. You know.
that's next. I want to do the rear diff bushings.
Yep.
And the IMR cradle, because I was like, those are the two biggest things. Because on a drag pack, I don't hop. I don't. It just fucking goes. But on the street tires,
I just got new street tires. I got the Nitto NT55s.
how are they?
These G2s, they're really good. They're very soft, actually. You know, so they're these are the performance pack wheels in here, but these are just really, really soft street tires, so they actually hook pretty well, is what I found. We did all the dyno tuning on these tires instead of those ones.
Yeah. That's how I feel about my Bridgestone Potenzas.
Yeah.
Because those tires are severely underrated. Like, provided I paid $1,200 with all the like disposal fees and all that shit, but I mean, for the performance I get out of that tire, I mean, like on that tire in 32-degree weather, like barely warm the tire up. I mean, just like test launching it, getting the tires well heated up, because it's never gonna do what that's gonna do. You know, it's never gonna do what the drag pack's gonna do.
Yeah, this is just grabs it. I mean, I sent you the video you saw. Like even with the backfire, it was like woo. Just going.
It is beautiful, man.
Thank
I need
you.
to get some of these too, because
Yeah,
that makes a world of difference.
That was like almost instantly. I put those on.
Yeah.
Because it makes life so much easier.
Than having to fucking fiddle with the things.
I don't know why they didn't come stock in factory. Like they didn't come stock on the 350 either.
Save weight.
Yeah, I guess so. But like my dad has a GT 350.
Right.
That I've been doing some work on that car as well. And I put those in. I put in the Mishimoto coolant tank because that looks so much better than that stupid clear plastic thing.
It does. You're making me a fan, dude. I'm like, oh my God, it's so much shit I need to do.
Well, it's, you know, there's only so much you can do. It doesn't look very clean.
Yeah.
You know, but there's not a lot I can do about that.
Yeah. It's just the way it's laid.
It's just the way that they laid it out, you know. There's some stuff I can do, I guess, like delete the air conditioning, but I'm not doing that.
A lot of dudes are saying, oh, if you want to beat A10s, you better gut. I'm like, no, I'm not going to gut it. That doesn't make sense. I love Mustangs. This is my dream car. So I was like, rotational mass is something that a lot of people don't think about. Rotational
mass and getting weight off the nose is really going to help. If the UPR battery relocation kit, I think is like $200, and it comes with everything you need. It comes with like the only thing it didn't come with that I had to kind of like manufacture is where you connect this battery to the battery line.
Yeah.
You know, so what we did is I bought one of these suckers, just you can get them at Advanced Auto Parts.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah.
You have to Dremel out one side, make it a little bit bigger because you got two battery cables that come into it.
Right.
And then one that comes out the other side.
Okay.
And then when you took it out, I ran it. So the other part that you'll discover is really nice is this piece of metal right here that makes it impossible to get to this cylinder, just bolts in. So once you take the battery out, you can just unbolt it and chuck it. There's no structural support there at all. We just ran the battery cable down into here. There's a nice gusset that goes right into here, ran it under the center console, right to the back.
I figured make it as easy as possible and as clean as possible.
Easy as possible, as clean as possible, you know, and then hook it all up there. I am going to put a disconnect back there at some point. The only reason I haven't done it is while I'm in like the working phase of it. I don't need my buddies just going and turning it off on me all the time. Because, to be fair, I would do that too.
Yeah.
But,
so what the fuck is wrong with this car now?
Yeah, just like, yeah.
And you'll look at everything but the fucking battery.
I know a couple racers that they put in a disconnect back there and they actually run a second cable all the way up to the front. So that when they're in the car, they can turn it back on because they're buddies that do that to them all the time. Just like they'll just walk behind the car and go bloop and turn it off. And they're in the car like, oh, man, the battery. And they just turn it on again.
I can't. I got to block that out. My friends would do some shit like that.
Yeah, you know, it's annoying because, yeah, my friends would do that all the time. So that's why I haven't done it. But, you know, it just hooks up in the back there really easy. I took out the bass speaker that comes in the car because this is the performance pack, so it came with that.
The little Bose sub in the little corner.
So it was the shaker. The
shaker.
Yeah. I was like, I don't need it. I don't listen. You can't hear anything in the car anyway. It's so loud, you know. So I was like, yeah, just remove it. So I actually sold that too. I've sold most everything off this car at this point.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. I mean, this is definitely inspiration.
Yeah, I'm you know, it's one of those things that it's like you don't have to be an expert mechanic. You just got to be willing to learn and be at least halfway decent with your hands.
Right.
And just understand none of this is going to happen overnight. You know, like running the fuel system for the car. You know, it's all -8 and -10 AN lines.
And that's something you can only figure out when you're fucking with it.
That's only something you can figure out when you're fucking with it. And there is no video, there's no one video that says, here's how you install a 4 Innovations dual pump fuel system in your 2015 S550 Mustang. It'd be nice,
but it's not there.
So you watch a couple of different videos of each guy going, hey, look, this is kind of where I put this, or this is where I put that. You know, that's where I got the idea for where to put the control module. Was I saw a guy go, hey, I've just zip tied it up here and it sits solid on there.
Yeah, because it's literally like...
Yeah, it's up out of the way. And what we can do, my tuner says the only problem with it is if we drive the car for like 4 hours, because it's a dual pump, it's going to froth up the fuel. Not that the fuel would last that long anyway. But, but what we can do is it has the option to disconnect one of the pumps.
So you can run it like a single feed no return.
We can run a single pump while we're just going down the road and know I can't hit it. And then the moment we get to the track, just plug in the second pump and boom, we're good to go.
Right.
That's like one of the options we have with the setup that we have.
You guys did it right.
Man.
You guys did it right.
Thank you.
It's so hard because everybody just goes, oh, just throw boost at it. And even in the VQ world, you know, everybody has a different, I think this turbo. But people don't look at power band. Like we said earlier, they just look at numbers. They're like, oh yeah, I make 550, but it's gonna make 550 for 50 RPMs, and then you drop fucking 100 horsepower between where you peak at 5,500 and fucking 68 where you redline. It's a waste of fucking time.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, well, it's my tuner's fault. No, you bought the wrong fucking turbo. If you look at the graph, if you look at the data, everything's in front of you. You just don't know what the fuck you're looking at. You're looking at a number.
Yeah.
And that's what my tuner's saying. He's really like one of my best friends. This guy's fucking awesome. He drilled in my head. He was like, Nick, don't worry about numbers. Power band is way more important.
You know, and like 99 times out of 100 or 9,999 times out of 10,000, it's not the tuner's fault.
It's not.
You know, like if it's the tuner's fault, you find out instantly when you start the car and something's wrong.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's you did something wrong, you banged on the car when you shouldn't have, or there's a mechanical failure of some kind. Most of the time, tuners don't.
They just do their job.
They're conservative enough. Unless it's their car, they're not going to do anything too sketchy because they don't want you coming back and saying, hey, look, man, I drove it 5 minutes down the road and it exploded. Right. I know my transmission guy is pissed, you know, because I literally put it in the car, filled it up with fluid, and it was broken. You know, and so he has to pay to ship it back to himself. He has to pay to fix it, and he has to pay to ship it back to me. And he's got to delay all of his customers because I shouldn't have had to go through this.
At least he's a good dude, because some dudes are just like, oh, well, I'll put you on the list, you know.
Yeah.
But he takes accountability. I like that.
Yeah. Well, I've had a couple problems with JPC, and the only problem was being that like they were promising stuff and then not delivering. You know, and I get it. There's delays. There's delays on everything now.
Yeah.
You know, but don't tell someone, hey, you're going to have your transmission by the end of December, and then it shows up at the end of February. You know, like I understand like a 3-week delay. I don't understand an 8-week delay or a 9-week delay.
That's late work. That's what that is.
Yeah, you know, and so we got it all in, but now, of course, I had to send everything back. You know, and so I hope that they make it right, and we'll see. And we're really hoping for low 6s in the 8th mile, and
that means you're running what, like 9s and a quarter?
Hopefully, that's what I'd really like to do in the next 2 years. Have you ever watched Cletus's Christmas tree race?
I didn't.
So a couple days before Christmas, he hosts the Christmas tree race down in Bradenton, Florida. And the rules are basically this: like it has to be a street car at least Florida legal street, which is basically anything goes, you have to have an 8-foot Christmas tree strapped to the top of your car with working lights. And it can't come off the car during the entire run. Fastest car wins. It's a heads-up race.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah. So it is so hilarious to watch, you know. And
trees just like.
Yeah, like guys over it, like ratchet strapped to their roof, you know.
That's the first thing I thought. I'm like, you could get some bungees and chase the bungees with the crank one and just tie it. Man, listen.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like it's so interesting to watch guys like how they get it to the top of their car and stuff, you know. And so I really want to do that race because it looks hilarious to me.
I believe it.
I think it would be a lot of fun, but I gotta get the car to that point first.
Oh, you're already there.
No, those guys are running 7s. They're running 7s. The guy who won it last year ran a 6.8 at 203 miles an hour. I don't know if I'm ever going to get that fast with this thing.
Do you want to be that fast?
Yes!
Oh, shit.
Dude, like, I don't know how much time you've spent at the track, but, like, every time you go faster, you're like, I can go a little faster. I can go just a little bit. You know, that's how it turns into
a money
this
pit.
monstrosity. Is that, you know, I went to the track, and the first time I ever went to the track, I ran like a 14. It was like so slow. And I was just like, man, this is so disappointing. And then like I talked to a couple guys and they gave me some hints, you know, some tricks, and I practiced and I went back and I ran a 13. And I was like, okay, I just cut a second off my time. You know, okay, well, what would be better? Well, you know, I put in a short throw shifter and a cold air intake. I went back and I ran a 12, you know, and then like I ran an 11.9 when I put the supercharger on it. And I whittled it down a little bit until I finally broke too many things, and I went, okay, time to go automatic.
Time to do it.
So we're skipping, you know, pretty much all past the 11s, and we're going to go straight into like mid-10s with this thing.
I love it.
You know.
Have you ever tried to do it from your dash a little? How accurate is that?
The launch control?
When you do it from the dash, when you could do your quarter mile, your 1/8 mile.
Oh, I've not tried that. You know, all my stuff I do at the track. You know, which that it's just
verified.
Whatever there is. You know, if you're gonna do that, I would say like if you're gonna do it on the street, I wouldn't trust the one in here. Because there's certain things that it doesn't account for, like what size tire that you have on the car,
right?
Wheel tire combination, you know, when the car actually starts, you know, stuff like that. So the drag strip's really the best place for that. Also, you have to try prep at a drag strip. Yeah. You know, whereas on the street, it's no prep.
I'll have to try it. When I tried it from the dash, it was different. Yeah, there's that. There's always that.
You know. I don't really street race the car anymore.
Why the fuck would you? All this money you got in it? Nah, I'm not street racing.
So the last time I street raced it was a better part of 2 years ago, right at the beginning of COVID. Down here, at least, the street car racing exploded because the cops weren't pulling anybody over. Yeah. Literally, they were like, if there was nobody on the roads and we were racing, we could go past the cops at 130 miles an hour, and they'd be like, like cool, don't crash. Right. That was basically what they were doing. They've cracked back down again since then, like because the roads have all gotten busier, but nobody was on the roads. Yeah. So it was like
it was no holds barred.
Yeah, it was no holds barred. No one was going to get hurt except for us, you know. And so the cops were basically like, well, you know, like again, we were doing it like midnight and stuff when there was really nobody there. The last time that I raced someone at about 130 miles an hour, the guy next to me pretended to come into my lane. And I got out of it, you know, instantly. And you know, I was pissed. I was pissed. And you know, he comes around with his car and he's like, oh, you're such a bitch. You let out blah, 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 blah. You know, you fell for it. And I was like, dude, we were at 130 miles an hour.
And you want to pull one of these?
And you want to pull one of those? I was like, I've got way more invested in this. I got way more invested into me. Right. You know, and you know, all the guys I was racing with at that point supported him in that. And I was like, you know what, if this is how you guys are going to be, I don't need to be part of this. You know, at a drag strip, there are rules. Yeah. You know, there are rules. There's a barrier between you when you start. You know, so if you lose control, you're not going to hit each other. You know, there's a clear winner and loser. Yeah. You know, and there's officials there and all of that stuff to make sure. And EMS at the end of the track if something goes wrong. You know, that's a lot safer than doing this on some backcountry road or on 95 somewhere.
You see what it looks like. Those dudes are fucking shutting down the highway.
I mean in Mexico.
Oh yeah,
95.
of course, because we would never do that.
I'd never do it on 95, only in Mexico. There's a 95 in Mexico, look it up. You know, but it's just one of those, like, it's not worth the risk.
Yeah.
It's not worth the
I
risk.
agree. I have a CDL, so, you know, I play around with my friends every once in a while, but everybody was like, Nick, you doing all this race car? Why don't you come on? I'm like, because I'm doing it for fun. I like this shit. You know, I'll race with my friends, or, you know, we have this spot in Mexico where it's just like a straight road, you know, and you can see it through the woods, and it's just straight for miles. Provided you're not running for miles, you're running from the light to the exit, because it's a little bit over a quarter. It's actually, it's probably about a cool mile. But you're going like so fucking quick, you know, there's a clear winner and a clear loser, because you can see right through the tree line is about literally from where you start to where you end is a quarter.
Yep.
So I can show you some stuff, man. I can show you some stuff.
You know, it's just, you know, a couple of the groups I got with just, you know,
bullshit.
They did bullshit, and they didn't respect, you know, the unspoken rules of street racing, which is stay in your lane and don't do stupid crap.
That's it.
You know, and so that was it for me. I decided I was done on the street. I was only going to do it on the strip after that point. There's like one guy I'll do polls against, but he's my mentor and he helps me build this thing. He's got a 2019 Z06 Corvette.
I raced a Cam Z06. I think it was like 06, 07. Bad idea.
Yeah.
Very bad idea. No one told me they were that fast.
They're very fast. Well, and like the new ones have that 8-speed auto, and they're, so like the equivalent to that car is obviously the ZL1.
Yeah.
You know, Corvette or Camaro, but they're like 800 pounds lighter than that car too. Like they're very light cars.
You're talking like 3,200 pounds. Like,
yeah,
really closer to 3,000.
They're closer to 3,000 pounds, and he's done a couple things to lighten the car up a little bit too.
That.
You know, and he's got a cam on it, and you know he's making more boost and a bigger radiator and all that stuff to keep his IATs down. And like he's done it right, you know, and he's very fast, you know, and we haven't tried it out since I did all these mods against, because again, transmission was in and it's right back out again. You know, but I'll do some polls against him, because at least he understands it all.
Yeah. Doggies get upset.
That's my Roddy being like, I know I can get to him.
Well, man, I appreciate you so much. We got to keep in contact. Can I give you my number? Is that okay?
Yeah, go
Perfect.
right ahead.